Hello. I am making a video with my crocodile today, and I want to talk about hallucinogenic drugs. And if this freezes in, I will take the tablet and continue it with part two. So, I've been wanting to talk about this subject now for like a week. I've been announcing that. And so I want to talk about this now. There's a lot to talk about. We create our own hallucinogenic drugs in our own systems. I heard that our intestines can create substances like that. That's phenomenal. And the brain also, the brain, the pituitary gland and the pineal gland and maybe some other glands in the brain that will get triggered and that will turn on some kind of chemical reaction, domino effect, where certain chemicals are being created in order to help us cope with the situation better. For example, DMT is released when someone goes into a shock state, psychological shock state, that's there to help the person cope with the situation. Because if the brain calms down the person and prevents the person from having too much of a shock, too much of an overload of stress hormones. If that happens, then the body can restore the balance, the entire vital sign balance. Because there were cases where people, when they go into too much shock, then that can shut down the vital signs or can cause a heart attack or a stroke. So the DMT prevents that, balances this back out, and we have a formation in the brain called the corpus callosum. And the corpus callosum is a scale. It's a chemical scale. It is somewhere near the brainstem, like going into the limbic system of the brain, pretty much in the center of the brain, and it is split in two parts, but I think it is one unit, but it has a communication to both hemispheres of the brain. I think, I'm not, correct me if you are an expert. So, but the corpus callosum detects imbalances in the brain and in the whole system. And when it detects like too much cortisol, too much stress, that's what's released, stress hormones in the body, that can slow down the vital signs, or that can cause nausea and throwing up and all of that. So the corpus callosum will then create a counterbalance to any kind of unbalance of a chemical that's in the system or in the brain. So that's really amazing, what that does. And the pituitary gland as well will release certain things when they are necessary, and the pineal gland will release DMT. So I highly recommend to people to not put any of these substances artificially into the system. We need to restore our systems into our own natural balance, where our own bodies naturally create anything that we need, that we need for our lives. And it is possible, so and it's wonderful. And in order to restore this balance and this healthy state, we have to be eating healthy, nutritious, whole food, vegan mainly, maybe eggs once in a while. Okay, chicken eggs once in a while. Maybe a little bit turkey and chicken once in a while. Okay, so, but not more than once a week. I don't even eat any. I will eat some egg once in a while. So if I eat egg every day, then my cholesterol goes way out of control. And yes, that is not vegan, so that's technically not vegan. But I live mainly, I just saw a real enormously large bird fly across the sky. My gosh, coming from over there, flying over there to this forest part. Wow, amazing. So that bird looked like a dinosaur. So yeah, we need to restore our health, and we need to live very, very healthy. You cannot be putting alcohol into your body. That will totally interfere with that balancing. Also, we need a lot of sleep. If you drink alcohol, your brain does not process all the information and the chaos and chemicals and all of that that's already in the body. Okay, so if you drink alcohol, that prevents this healthy balance, restoration from happening. Okay, so you cannot drink any alcohol at all. Okay, health experts and physicians worldwide have come to this unanimous conclusion now that no amount of alcohol is safe for us. Okay, not even a teaspoon, and it's not necessary. The reason why people do it, they will say, "Oh, it's for recreation." That's not recreation. It's because I want to have fun. Why do you think you need to? Why do you think you can only have fun when you put alcohol in your system? So the brain is so programmed with that it thinks that only with the alcohol and the drugs that it can somehow experience some sort of better feeling. Okay, and but that's a total misunderstanding. That's not true at all. Matter of fact is, and I know the difference because I have been through all of this myself. Okay, I quit all of that when I was 25 because I just knew this was not going anywhere. I knew this was just gonna lead to unimaginable suffering, and I've always been interested in science and in biology and in healing and health. So I've always been watching documentary films on this and paid attention to those things and observed myself also, and I saw that partying with alcohol, that's like completely missing out on actually feeling your daily life, feeling, including the romance and the dates and the wild dating that we were doing. Everyone was doing everyone, like it was total chaos, and it didn't feel good. It did not feel good at all. We thought, oh, this is our sexual liberation revolution and so on, but it didn't feel good. It felt very lonely, actually, and then everyone was drowning out their emotional pain with vodka, and we all felt awkward. We would drink a cup of vodka, then will feel a little bit less awkward. And that is not a way of living at all. Not at all. Okay, it's horrible. Yesterday, I was sitting here on the couch and I was looking back on my life, and I thought, man, I have wasted so many years. Man, I have wasted so many good years of my life with total ignorance, with, my entire youth time until 25. I mean, we're still young after 25, but like my teenage years, my early 20s, wasted on partying, on alcohol. Don't do it. Don't do this to yourselves. Okay. Please don't do this to you. I see young people in their 20s and they're doing that, and I just want to take them to the side, and I want to hold them in my arm, and I want to say, don't do that same mistake that I have done. Don't waste your most precious years, okay, of your lives. Don't do it. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of happiness, okay? Because that's not happiness at all. It is tapping in the dark. It's confusion. It's not love. It's not even lust. It's not even sexual enjoyment when you are wasted on some kind of substance. Okay, it's a waste of time. It really is. Let Big or Mama tell you this, okay? Because I really, really know this. I know it from the inside out. I see the difference. I mean, I feel so uncomparably better now than I've ever felt in my entire life, because of the amazing teas that I drink, because of being whole food vegan. Once in a while I eat eggs, so technically it's not really vegan, but let me give this a different name then, because that's not completely correct. So whole food, mainly plant food and some eggs. Okay, so chicken eggs. And also that's also very, very questionable to do, because most of the stuff comes from suffering, from factory farms. Even if it says free range, who knows how they have been living. Okay, they may have been cramped into one room. I don't know. Okay, so it would be better to create a community out there in the high desert where some people are growing chickens, and where we can have a barter system where we trade food. So, because I don't want to be doing livestock work, so we want to focus and concentrate only on plants. And it is a lot of responsibility to be having animals and chickens or turkeys. And anyone who has animals, or larger animals, they should be living like what they call ahimsa farms. They have cows and they live their entire lifetime in happiness. Okay. And ahimsa farms, they do sell the milk from the cows, but they don't take the milk away from the baby cow. And they don't bring them to the slaughter facilities. And so that's really ahimsa means non-violence. It comes from Sanskrit in India. And so there are some farms in India. There are ahimsa farms in India. They're wonderful. And there are some farms in Europe that are ahimsa based. Okay. That's a real honorable certificate to get the ahimsa certificate. Those people, they cuddle with their cows. You can see it on YouTube. Okay. And the cows are happy, and they are just like a dog, cuddling with you. When I see cows here in the United States, they're terrified of people. Okay, this is not how they should be living. They should not be terrified. They're not being treated very well by those farmers. They treat them like numbers. Okay, that's really, really wrong. So now I swayed off the subject again. I wanted to talk about hallucinogenic drugs, but all of this ties in with one another, and I don't want to make the video too long, so I want to continue this video on my tablet because then I don't have to constantly look at the clock there and worry that the video is going to freeze in or not even show up. So can't make it too far over 20 minutes. But all of these subjects tie in with one another. Okay, so we create our own chemicals, and we need to have a complete balance in our systems. You cannot put any chemical from the outside into any harsh chemical like DMT or plants that contain a lot of DMT. Don't do it, So that's not recreation. That can cause a lot of imbalance. That can cause serious health problems and long-term neurodegenerative problems. So I don't recommend this at all. I don't recommend hallucinogenic drugs at all, or ayahuasca. Okay, I've watched documentary films. They made it look like that's the end all help and cure, and I was even sucked into that for a while, and I said, oh well, if everything fails, I'm gonna go to the Amazon rainforest and do the ayahuasca session. And for Paul, that was like the ultimate red flag. It's like, and then he saw he watched the documentary film, and he said, they are crooks. And then he just kept on talking and ranting about it, and then I thought about it, and I had to, he draws me into his fear. That's what he does. But it's also because he wants to protect me. He cares about me like a dad. He doesn't want me to get into any kind of dangerous situation, and I deeply appreciate that. So maybe this is okay for someone who has a very serious last stage C word or something, to go to South America, and instead of dying a gruesome death, they can do the ayahuasca session and go into, and that's the inwardness process, by the way, but it is brought onto you in a way too overloading and rapid way. Your brain isn't even ready for that. They call them teacher plants for a reason, because those plants, they actually communicate with us when we take them internally. It's true, and Pieris japonica is one of them. But Pieris japonica doesn't have the side effects, and it doesn't get you addicted, and it is very, very, very mildly hallucinogenic, and that is one of the very rare hallucinogenic plants that are safe to take. So, but I'll talk more about Pieris on the tablet, because that's a very, very big subject. You can watch my video, my experience with oleander. It's on my old dormant channel. I'm not putting videos on that channel. I haven't been on that channel in a long time. So you can still see me with my dark brown curly hair. Yes, I have a small percentage of Pacific Islander in me, and my eyebrows. I just I watched videos yesterday, old videos of mine, and I'm shocked about my eyebrows. I mean, this is shocking. You know, I didn't pluck my eyebrows in the past, and I look like, I mean, I look like a Pacific Islander. You know, what can I say? Like with Byzantine eyes and really wide eyebrows that came down to here. And one can see this area here is really, that really has. I mean, it's not like really bushy or anything, but it is fanned out into here. And then, like, how can anyone have their eyebrows like this? I thought, oh my gosh. And then the monk haircut, and I mean, it's crazy. So, but you know, I had to do a lot of healing to heal myself from the enormous, like, pathological dorkness. You know, so I'm still a dork. You know, don't get me wrong, but but it was really dork from extreme dork planet or something. So it was too dork. I can't stand it. So that's why it's so incredibly awful. My videos from the past, I can't stand it. But it's very, 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 very good to see one's own evolution. You know, the mind state. I had a lot of knowledge already, like 6 years ago, but I mean, I was still struggling with my mother. I mean, it was incredible. I was still way, way, way too nice to people, like my mother, and I would cater to her, and I can just see it in my facial expression when I watch my old videos, how I was, even it was when I talk about totally unrelated subjects, I can see it in my face how I was catering to my mother. You know, this never-ending gentleness and giving in. Oh yeah, well, yeah, the poor troll. And now I have healed myself out of that. Okay, no more. I have healed myself now. I have gone through enormous, and I had to hit my pillow. I had to punch my mother many, many, many times in order to grow and heal out of this. Was very, 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 very important. So I'm gonna go to my tablet and continue the video there. Peace out.